welcome to Windstream's Chamber Connection. This is Clay County Chamber Week, and we welcome you to our little set here. Today we're going to talk to Sandy Nicolette. She's with the CCCRA, and Sandy's going to tell us all about the upcoming event down on the square, which is famous. It's become very famous, and it's called the Cherokee Heritage Festival. So Sandy, can you give us a little bit about information, how it started, how long it's been going on, and just give us some details?
Okay, thanks, Pam. The Cherokee Heritage Festival is going into its 8th year, believe it or not, I know. And we're just thrilled that this is an opportunity to bring the Cherokee history and culture to the whole region. Many of you have not been up to Cherokee, North Carolina, so this gives you the opportunity to come a little bit closer to home and enjoy the Cherokee. We bring in artisans, demonstrators, dancers, nationally recognized dancers, hoop dancers, and beautiful artisans. So it's a one-day event from 10 to 3, September the 15th. We're at the Cherokee Homestead Exhibit. The address is 805 Highway 64 Business in Hayesville, so near the museum. The museum is open that day. They also have a silent auction of beautiful regional art. So we invite you to come. We provide a free shuttle. Not a lot of parking at the exhibit. So we incorporate several different lots throughout the community, give you a chance to ride the shuttle that's free and easily get from one place to the other. If you park down below, you don't have to walk up the hill unless you want to. One of the other nice things is Hiwassee River Watershed Coalition also works with us, and they offer free nature walks and talks to take advantage of the native plant area that Historical and Arts maintains, and then also across the street we have our Cherokee Botanical Sanctuary. So Tony Ward offers several walks and talks, plus they do a little game or two, so you can bring your family and have some fun out there and see if you can identify some of the native plants. They're native, which any of us might have used, but also some are specific to the Cherokee. They might have used them for medicine, for shelter, for food, and those are indicated on some special signs with the Cherokee syllabary. So that's a fun thing to do too. Pam, I think the Chamber's going to have a tent there as well.
Yes, we are.
Right?
We will be set up right outside the jail museum, which the jail museum is fantastic in itself too. You can take 2-3 hours to go through it because there's just so much heritage to see there. But one of the things I love about the Cherokee Festival is that my grandkids come every year. They love to listen to the Cherokee Indians sit and talk about what it was like back in their day, how they eradicated ants. Instead of sprays and all these chemicals, they poured boiling water down the anthill and would get rid of the red ants. So I love it for that because you just learn so much about the area and what they went through, and they talk about the trees and how you can tell the wind, what the wind's doing by the tree leaves. And there's just so much history and information at this. And it's a quiet, relaxing walk through and look at the summer house and the winter house. The food, the Cherokee food is fantastic.
Have you tried the fry bread?
Yes.
Yes, it's very good. You mentioned the stories, and I've got a little book over there just to remind me, but Davy Arch is this absolutely wonderful speaker. He brings his cousin George, and together they talk about the arts and crafts. But Davy is so knowledgeable. He's one of these people that you can just throw out, oh, how about a rabbit? Tell a legend or a story about a rabbit. Or what about the groundhog? And then as you mentioned, using what was in nature. We have several educational programs that we offer some of the children in the community. And when we gather them around initially before they start their lessons, we tell them, imagine what it would have been like back then when there was no Walmart, there was no Ingalls,
no cars.
There were not roads, there were nothing.
Yes.
So you had to survive using what was here. And it's absolutely intriguing to me that these people live for centuries, generations, thousands
Just
of
off the
years.
land.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I've tried farming a little bit. We were joking the other day and trying to survive off of, you know, your garden that you grow and your vegetables, and you think, good thing I didn't have to depend on that all the time, because in the wintertime, what did you do? We have a corn crib on our site at the Homestead exhibit. Just shows you that's where the food had to be stored during the wintertime. And what materials were used to build their shelter. So, so we have the opportunity to go in there. We have Dan Hollyfield. Oh my gosh, he's a local legend in and of himself. He'll be embarrassed, but anyway, he comes and plays flute music on the flutes that he built himself or made himself. And he's always in the winter house because the sound is just so wonderful in there. The winter house, of course, they lived in during the wintertime, but made of river cane, covered over with like a daub. And actually there are places in the world where people are still living that way. But it gives you a sense of how dark and closed in everybody would have been just to keep warm in the wintertime. So, but his music just sort of floats over the whole place during the time.
Mesmerizing.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And so I mentioned Davy Arch, who has these wonderful stories, and it's just great to listen to. One of our special people that comes is Amanda Swimmer. She is a 96-year-old potter. And she's featured, here's a book where she's featured in the Cherokee pottery, and if you'll notice, this was one of hers, and it looks exactly like the one on the front of the cover of this book by Anna Ferriello, but celebrating, of course, Cherokee pottery. But bless her little heart, she couldn't come last year. Was disappointed, she wasn't feeling well. She had her granddaughter call and say, would you please find out if they're still having the event this year, because I definitely want to go there. The people over there are very nice to me, and this woman's a treasure. I mean, she's an expert, 96, and she's filled with all kinds of knowledge and information, so she's such a treat. Basketry, also made by the Cherokee. That one happens to be made of oak. Generally, many of the baskets were made out of river cane, which is almost becoming extinct. But so a lot of baskets. We have several in our exhibit at our library, the Cherokee Cultural Center. So once you come to the festival, you can go downtown on the square, behind the square actually, to visit our library, and there's a whole wall filled with just absolutely beautiful treasures, artifacts that were found in our community, and some things that a local artisan dairy wood has made. And so at any rate, just lots of opportunities in Clay County. We actually have a 2-mile trail called the Quanasi Path that highlights 5 different locations in our community. And so visitors are welcome to walk that trail too. 2 miles, easy walk. You can even drive to most of the locations. So you can make a decision about how to spend your day in our little community. But we're just excited about bringing the Cherokee to our community to be able to share all they know, all that they do. And Pam, it made me feel so good when you mentioned that it was an educational experience. And I have to share with people that one of our Cherokee vendors who comes, and we have about 6 or 7 that have just beautiful Cherokee art that's available for purchase. You can put it in your own collection if you wish. But he says of all the festivals that he goes to, ours stresses education more than any of the others. And it just makes me feel so good because we've really worked to share authentic history and culture of the Cherokee to our community. And as I mentioned, any visitor in the region that would like to come. And this is the chance. If you have anything at home, you're not sure if it's Cherokee or not, you were told that, but you're really not sure, bring it. There will be people there that can share what they know about it and can hopefully verify that, yes, in fact, you do have a Cherokee treasure. So we look forward to you coming as well as anyone else out there in the community.
Well, and if you're new in the area, you would love to know the history of the Cherokees here in Clay County, because this was the Trail of Tears. And so there is so much history, and the Cherokee lived here among the white settlers. It was a opportunity, this would be the opportunity to understand the birthplace of a lot of traditions and why maybe Clay County is the way it is. You should come out and see what's going on. It's just beautiful. It's a fun day. It's an interesting day. Family, there's just all things going on. And then you can either eat down there at the Indian exhibit, or you can, or the Cherokee exhibit, or you can eat up in one of the new restaurants that's coming up in Hayesville. So,
and I'm glad you mentioned about the children or make something,
Yes.
because we do have a children's area where, and actually we've had some older people make things there too, because they're intrigued and want to take a treasure home. But children might be given a little dipper gourd. Some are larger, but about this size. They get to decorate them and take them home as one of their treasures. They can make jewelry. They can do any number of things while they're there. Jane Eastman from Western Carolina comes, and she can share with you lots of information, and she brings an activity with her as well. So activities from little ones to big ones.
Well, we're going to take a quick break right now. Please join us again, because we will be talking more about this, and we'll be talking more about what's going on in Clay County for the rest of the week. Thank you. Hi, welcome back to the Windstream's Chamber Connection. And of course, this week is the Clay County Chamber of Commerce. I'm Pam Roman, the director at the Chamber of Commerce. And today, this afternoon, I'm going to go ahead and give you the information about what's going on in Clay County. September and October are big months here. So on September 22nd, you're going to be doing it's the 7th annual Pet Celebration down on the square. This is reduced cost vaccine clinics. It's from 8 to 9. And then about 9 o'clock, they do an acknowledgement. We have obedience classes and a graduation for these little dogs that have been in obedience classes for the last 6 weeks. That's going to be like 9 to 9:30. Then we'll be doing the Clay County Police Dogs. There's a live radio show going on, Ask the Vet, with interviews with Dr. Burr, who's over at Chatoog Animal Hospital. Then we're going to have a demonstration by Star Dance. The girls are going to come out from 11:30 to 12 and do all kind of little dances. And there will be a blessing of the pets. So if you have a pet that you would like blessed, we have Reverend Delmer Chilton will be coming. And Delmer's going to be blessing the pets. He'll say an overall blessing, but if you'd like your pet specifically blessed for a reason, you can take it over to Delmer and he'll do that. That starts at noon. Then about 12:15, the medical services dogs will be doing their demonstrations, and fear, aggression, anxiety disorder. So they're going to be talking about a lot of issues with dogs that you might have with your own pet. Now, at 1 o'clock, there's going to be a pet costume and parade. All day long, there's an auction going on. So there's auction items for your pets, all kinds of things that have been donated by the different businesses. And you'll be able to do a silent auction on all those. But the pet costume and parade is so funny, because there is a judging of who looks like the pet the most. Or if you dress alike your pet, you know, you and your pet are all dressed up like a clown. So there's prizes to be given out for the costumes and the parade. And then at 1:50, the big finale, the wiener dog race. That is one of the funniest things you've ever seen. There's probably about 8 wiener dogs, little tiny ones, big ones, long ones, fat ones, short. They're all over. But they take off running, and whoever wins the wiener dog race gets a prize. So that's going to be September 22nd, down on the square from 8 to 3. That's the historical square in Hayesville. Then the next weekend, I believe, is October 6th. That's the first weekend in October. Well, no, that'd be 2 weekends after that. October 6th, we start off at John C. Campbell School. During the day, there's the big, huge festival, Saturday and Sunday, the 6th and 7th. So be sure and attend that. I believe they open at 10 a.m. and they close at 5. Then at October 6th, Steins and Wines around the square. Taste of Tampa. You can tell where I came from. The Taste of Hayesville will be going on for the first time this year. There's about 4 restaurants that are going to be participating in this. So be looking out for the Steins and Wines brochures all over town. Also on October 6th, we have the final night of Hot Summer Nights at David Goldhagen. I love David Goldhagen. You go and you bring your food, you bring your drinks, whatever you like. You sit in these big comfy chairs around the lake. There's someone singing. He's got Heidi Holton coming. She's fantastic. But then David is firing something. So it's $10 to get in to make the reservation. But whatever David fires that night, he pulls a ticket and you could win it. So that is one of the amazing things. And that is his final night. So October 6th, if you can't find anything to do, there's something wrong with you.
That's true.
The Sequoia Bar and Grill out there at the Ridges Country Club in Hayesville, they do team trivia every Wednesday night. So come rain or shine, we're in there doing Trivia Pursuit, and it is so much fun. DJ Dan. They've got a summer dining menu going on from 5 to 9 p.m. The rest of the week. And Wednesday is also half-price night for wine. The Lounge, they have open mic from 5 to 9. So there's all sorts of music going on out there at the Sequoia Bar and Grill, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So if you're just sitting around and you want a really beautiful, relaxing place to go and see, definitely go there. On September 29th, we have the Bethel Guidry College Scholarship Golf Tournament. It's an 8 a.m. shotgun start, and that will be September 29th out at the ridges of Mountain Harbor where the golf course is. This is their scholarship fund that they do for the Bethel Guidry Scholarship kids. So this is a great cause. You really need to come out and participate in that. Call either the chamber, we can give you the phone number to get a hold of everybody, or you can sign up. And then on October 12th and 14th, I know that's a little ways down the road, but put it in the back of your mind. We have a thriller by Patrick Hamilton being produced at the Peacock Performing Arts Center, Angel Street. And I believe it's the Gaslight thriller when it was, that was a
series.
Yeah. So this is Angel Street. It's going to be October 12th through the 14th and the 19th through the 21st. Now the tickets are going to sell fast. So you really need to call and go ahead and make reservations for that. That's just a must. And then, of course, coming up, but you'll be hearing more about this, is the Punkin' Chunkin'. And we have a Jeep rally this year. So everybody that owns a Jeep will be coming in a separate entrance, and you'll be able to display your Jeep at the Punkin' Chunkin'. That's going to be October 20th and 21st. You'll be able to get on a hill, park on a hill, and all the Jeeps all around will be parked. And then they're going to do a road where you go over rocks and rivers and go through things and come back up. So it's just going to be a fun event.
Like an obstacle course for Jeeps?
Yeah, for Jeeps. Okay. I never knew this existed until Eric Meadows went out and he bought a Jeep. And he said, we really need to do this. It's going to be fun. Now, Saturday night, October 20th, we're doing a after hours. So once everybody leaves the fairgrounds, the festival grounds, where you can come back in, and we're having a battle of the bands. 4 bands will be vying for number 1 position. So that's going to be fun. We'll have food. We'll have all sorts of things going on out there. But we will be back with you on that. And just keep your nose to the grindstone. Watch all the signs that are going to be popping up around, because Signs and Wines, John C. Campbell, and Punkin' Chunkin' will be popping up, as well as the Peacock Playhouse. Now, Sandy, there was another thing you wanted to talk about.
Well, several things, actually. You know, it's so hard to talk about the Cherokee Festival in just a few minutes because there is so much that goes on. So we mentioned that there will be activities for the children. We mentioned the Davy Arches there. mentioned that there would be vendors there that are in fact Cherokee, so from drums to jewelry to all kinds of things like wood carving, etc. But in addition to Amanda Swimmer, we have other Cherokee artisans who will be there. They're demonstrating their art, so they will be working as they're sitting there.
That is so much fun to watch.
And they're great to talk to. That's what they do. They work at the Oconaluftee Village, and so they're used to talking to people
while
that come
they're
there.
working.
Absolutely.
I can't
They
do
don't.
two things at one
I know
time.
they don't see it as an interruption. So you're welcome to ask them anything you would like about what they're doing. One of the ladies, Irma McMillan, she'll be there making pinch-toed moccasins. I don't even know if you know what those are, but the actual toe is pinched together and sewed together, and she's one of the few people around that makes them. So would love for you to see her working. We have wood carvers. We have people that work with copper. We have a lot of finger weaving, which a lot of people don't know what that is either. So there will be all kinds of things that you come and you can talk to. Now, when they're not demonstrating, they dance.
Yes.
And these are traditional dances. Now, the Cherokee not only tell stories about nature, their music as well as their dancing was always about a something.
Yeah.
It might be about gathering the crops. It might be about planting the crops. It might be about hunting the bear or the deer or any number of things. So these aren't always the very loud, dramatic. They're just very serious demonstrations of their culture. Now, speaking of dramatic, we also are scheduling Eddie Swimmer. Now, Eddie is getting older, we all are, but he's in his 50s and he is still hoop dancing. He was the first person to win the hoop dancing contest here in the United States. And so he was competing against dancers from various cultures and tribes. So he was out in Oklahoma at that time and then came back to Cherokee. So it gives you a chance. He's so entertaining. You can tell he's worked in front of children. He's worked in front of a variety of audiences. And he likes to get people up there.
Yes,
Last year was my first year to see him. And I hearken back to the day when I tried to do a hula hoop. One hula hoop and battled that. And then he's up there. He got up to 32 hoops. And of course, he uses all parts of his body when he's doing this. And he's moving. So he's adding hoops and moving, keeping time. And he's adding and making these different shapes. One might be a butterfly, any different type of animal, whatever. And one of the cute things is with the audience participation. Of course, they've never done it before, but he is instructing how to do like one over here and then one over here. Well, this one might keep going, but this one doesn't. But you get a real sense of how difficult it is. He does up to 32 now. I understand he went much higher than that in terms of keeping them all going at the same time. So he's moving every part of his body. So it's quite the thrill to watch. He'll be there in the afternoon. So, and then the Oconaluftee dancers will be dancing throughout the day. We mentioned Dan Hollyfield. He'll be playing, of course, the flute throughout the day. Demonstrations will be going on, and of course you mentioned the food, fry bread, and again, if you've never tasted it, they help us out by giving us a variety of toppings. So anywhere from veggies on top to, I think, chocolate sauce on one of them. So you can start your meal and end your meal with the fry bread. And then if you're not that, inquisitive, they have hamburgers and hot dogs too. But so anyway, lots of people will be there, lots of information. It's a cultural, educational experience, and just a lot of fun.
You need to come and see Hayesville. We are a little town that is happening. There's a lot going on. And go right ahead.
Well, you mentioned a lot of things going on. I forgot to say I'm with CCCRA, which is Clay County Communities Revitalization Association. And we're responsible for managing the newly renovated, rehab, preserved historical courthouse, downtown Hayesville.
Yes.
And lots of events will be going on there. We now have a gift shop where you can purchase a treasure, actually out of some reclaimed wood. So please come down to our square. As you mentioned, lots of restaurants in the area, lots to do in our cute little downtown.
And come by to see the Clay County Chamber of Commerce. Once again, I'm Pam Roman, and we appreciate you being with us today. Hopefully we've given you some insight to coming over to Clay County.